Good morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening. I actually forgot that the first time I started talking about the Stern Godzilla 70th edition straight away. Before doing my intro, I said, hold to Enzo, hold on, stop, rewind. Let's do the good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. A good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, Enzo. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. Good evening over here. It's a nice early one today where it's only 7:30.
The night is young. The night
The
is
night is
young.
young. Night is young.
Yeah. Well, it's late over here. Well, I say it's earlier over here, but it's going to be a late one tonight because England are
Yeah.
playing in the European Championship semi-final. So I've got a lot of work stacked up for this evening. Let's just hope it's work that's also a pleasure rather than just a chore, so to speak. But we're actually going to discuss something that happened yesterday, which was Stern Pinball announcing the release of not a limited edition, a premium edition, but a 70th anniversary edition of one of the finest pinball machines ever made. Let's be perfectly fair. Godzilla. They've gone all black and white with it. We've got a little bit of footage here to share with you, which we've pinched from the Stern website. You, Enzo, you've had a look at it. What are you thinking?
Yeah, look, I really like it. Obviously, Godzilla originally started in black and white, so it's a great homage to that. I think they've done a good job with it. There's not much you can really do apart from maybe overdoing it with the red. But I think it's a great homage to the 70th anniversary. I think these days when a company can, at the end of the day, Stern is a business and they are there to make money and profit. When there are these anniversaries, I think Jaws' 40th is coming up or 50th is coming up soon. Ninja Turtles is 40 this year. So there's plenty of opportunities to kind of jump on these anniversary bandwagons. I think it's great. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I know there's our friend George Gomez pointed out many times in that video that it is a premium because I think he's really trying to, and I think he's done the right thing because I think it's just reminding people that it is still based on a premium. It's not taking anything away from the LE. There's been a lot of negative talk on the fact that LE buyers feel hard done by these releases of these games. When, for me, the LE is still the LE. This is a completely different machine. I don't think it's better than an LE. No, it's just different.
Yeah.
It's just different. I still think LE should come with toppers personally, Stern, wink, wink. But, it is a different game. Now, this one, I did notice, and we'll see in a second, if I'm not mistaken, has LE artwork on one side and premium artwork on the other as a little bit of a homage. I could be wrong, but I didn't really investigate that.
Well, that is interesting, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I am I'm unconcerned because I don't own an LE. Well, I don't own a Godzilla at all anymore. I sold it. But I think if I was, I wouldn't be that bothered. I think the LE still looks better. This whole black and white theme, it's not really. It's black, white, and red, as you mentioned. It's fine. It's fine. I don't care. I'm not gonna buy one anyway. I thought what they did looked really good on Elvira.
Yeah.
That Elvira blood red edition, I have to say, was one of the most stunning pinball machines I've ever seen. I haven't seen it. I've only seen pictures of it, but I'm sure.
I've seen one. My friend's got one. It's stunning in person. Like if you were buying one right now and you didn't own an Elvira or you didn't own a Godzilla, it would be the one to buy. But it doesn't mean that people are going to dump their one and buy this one.
You would? Okay, well, that's interesting. You see, because if I was buying an Elvira now, I'd buy the blood red.
Yep.
If I was buying a Godzilla, I wouldn't buy this one. You'd buy this one, would you?
It's very hard because Godzilla is one of my favorite games and I've had it for so long. Look, if I had to buy one right now and that was an option, going based on how good Elvira looked, I'd have to say probably would buy the black and white with the red. Although the artwork on this Godzilla, not taking anything away from the artwork from Elvira, Godzilla is a beautifully colourful designed game. It'd be a hard choice, but if I was starting from scratch and there was one available, there's a good-looking rooster there.
Yeah, I like the foil part of it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad-looking machine. Far from it. I think the first thing I noticed about this was because they've made a lot of this stuff inside on the playfield, black and white. Now I like my mods. I'm thinking my Atomic Godzilla is going to look weird in there. I'm thinking my Tokyo Neon sign is going to look weird in there. There's a very, very exciting mod coming out soon with the. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. Basically, someone's doing the monsters, and it's going to be pretty damn cool. I think my UFO looks odd in there. I think actually anything other than once you start to do that, I think even the inserts look slightly odd because they're all different colors. If you could do it, every insert's going to be red or white, basically. So I wouldn't, for that reason. I really like the colors on Godzilla. I particularly, and this is why when I did my bespoke version, I particularly picked out the blue in it, the atomic breath. I thought that the most stunning thing about the one color I picked out was the blue. So I've got no class or style at all. The fact that I would have chosen to go with the blue rather than the red is neither here nor there, really. But I think it's neat enough. I really do. But if I was an LE owner, I mean, the armor's not better than the LE. I don't think the colors are better. I like the foil decals on the limited edition better. And yeah, but if someone wants to go and choose this game, good luck to them. I still, primarily, you're still getting a Godzilla, which is one of the best pinball machines ever made, and that really is it. I can think of a lot of games that you could make black and red and stick a foil decal on, and it's still going to be a terrible game. This is fine. You can garnish this game all you want. Godzilla is one of the best pinball machines ever made, and you're just gonna, if you like pinball, you're gonna love this game if you're going to buy yourself one.
Well, it's interesting your comment about the mods because I thought that today, and I still think because some of the mods are still like the UFO still lit up in that one, and the modes and the kaiju battles are still lit up and color coded. So I think like if you were a modder to games, I think those little highlights to the black and white might still pop. I don't think we'll take anything away. I wouldn't be surprised though if Stumbler or all those guys are going to start doing black and white mods.
Well, to be fair, let me just say this on all the Stumbler stuff. If you really wanted to, you could go into the software and you could just change it so it was flashing red. You could do that. That wouldn't be an issue. But I think the moment you start adding more and more mods, and there are a lot of mods, you're adding more color, and then it ceases to be a black and red pinball machine. You start to look at the play field. You think, well, actually, they might as well have kept all the colors on the play field as well. Yeah. That's just me. I am a modder. Funny enough, we'll deal with it in a minute. I've actually got a mod to open in front of you live on air, actually. But we'll deal with that in a minute. Once is
that a euphemism or?
It is genuine.
Is that an eggplant in a box or?
Yeah, no. It's literally. I'm just gonna whop me mod out live on air with the use of this surgical knife. Funnily enough, yeah, but there you go. So your Godzilla is safe at the moment, you think?
Yeah, look, I mean, as someone that likes kind of old school comics and all that type of thing, I think if you look at that video of George standing in front of it. It does stand on its own. Like it is a very unique machine because it's got the Japanese writing that says Gojira, and it just looks different. I mean, I think it's another option, and I think they've done a great job. I don't think it takes anything away from the LEs, like we said. I think you can still mod it personally if you wanted to. But again, it is a business. They are there to profit, especially at the moment with the fact that there is a different CEO, and obviously they want to inflate these books a bit. But I think it's a great business idea. These anniversary editions. You could, like you said, you could do it to a lot of machines. I'd like to have seen a 40th anniversary Turtles, to be honest.
I think there's a market for that.
Well, look, a lot of people don't like the game because of how difficult and how low scoring it is. But I don't know. I mean, the original Turtles were black, white with red bandanas. I mean, that just ticks all the boxes, right?
Yeah, but you've got really into it to know that stuff. I mean, you mentioned at the start, original Godzilla was in black and white. As old as I am, I'm 50 years of age. I didn't watch Godzilla in black and white.
No, a lot of people don't know that, actually. You're right.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're looking at people that are definitely older than me. I I remember Godzilla being in color. In fact, for all of my life, pretty much most
Yeah.
television. If you watch an old film on TV, television has been in color. So I think if you're going to start pitching it towards that, you are looking at a demographic that is just possibly not going to be that interested in it. Anyway, we're probably well established with their pinball collections already. At the end of the day, it's something to talk about. Good luck.
Mm.
I don't care. Um, but it's nice to look at, but I don't think it really. There was never a consideration with it. I've got to say, when that Elvira Blood Red dropped, I thought, oh, that is so nice. It made me want to get an Elvira, which obviously I've had one before.
Well, to be honest, I never thought about getting a blood red. And then when I saw it in person at the factory, my friend's factory, you'd get this thing go through your mind going, oh, geez, I wish I'd ordered one and got rid of mine. But, you can't, you do that with everything in life, right? You see something better, you want it. But
Of course.
I'm sure the impact that had the first time I saw it in person, Godzilla's probably going to have that impact as well, because it looks a very similar concept to the Elvira, and that was a bloody good looking machine.
What's your best looking machine with the best looking game you've got in your collection? Mods, powder coating, everything. What do you think is your most stunning machine?
I haven't probably Bond LE, because that's already powder coated.
Right.
That's a beautiful kind of blue, greeny blue. The Elvira I've got is pretty heavily modded. I haven't powder coated it yet. I'm thinking about doing that. Jaws is probably the next one I'm going to do a lot of work on. To be honest, I've got a bucket load of mods sitting in a tub that I haven't installed, and it's been a year.
So, sure. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, look, that's understandable. I just always found with mine, I've got some pretty stunning games, and I've had some really, really stunning games. But it got to a point where, as stunning as they were, I was just playing them. I wasn't stood there sort of looking and thinking, oh, wow, that's a stunning game I've got there. I would just switch it on. I wouldn't look and think, oh, this is brilliant. I'm just trying to find at the moment.
Well, funny you should say that.
Here you go. I'm going to make the point. Here's my Godzilla, right? Which I don't, as I say, I have.
That was a good looking machine, by the way.
Yeah. Which is no longer with us. I was really happy with this game. Absolutely, I think stunning. I'll let other people decide whether they think it's was any better than this new 70th edition that Stern have brought out. But I was still ended up just playing Godzilla. I would think, wait, that's a good looking machine, but I'm not sure how much there was to it. And it's the same with Deadpool. My Deadpool is gorgeous. It has all the same airbrushing on it, packed full of mods, but it's still, how much more do I enjoy the game because of it? And I think if I still had this game, I wouldn't be in any rush to swap this, which was a premium, which I'd obviously customized. I wouldn't be in any rush to swap this premium for what Stern have done. And anyway, you get the idea there. Sorry, well, I interrupted.
No, funny. I was saying a lot of people that walk into my room all comment on the Bond LE, because there's something about the color and the impact it has, and because all mine are just standard kind of black. Yeah, I haven't got any powder coating. It does stand out.
Sure.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't enjoy the game anymore because it looks pretty. I do think about it sometimes when I'm standing there going, God, this is such a good game. And it looks nice. But yeah, it doesn't add anything to the experience.
No. But I think some mods can, don't get me wrong. Some mods can. I sort of came to the conclusion quite early on, particularly with DMDs, color DMDs on old sort of WPC games, that really they were there for somebody else. They were there for somebody else to watch when I was playing, or for me to watch when somebody else was playing during a game of doubles. The amount of time I actually spent looking at it during a game was negligible. But I like having them, and I think that's the thing with pinball. None of us need any of this stuff.
No,
we don't. It's just nice. It's nice to have. And so if you can have a pinball machine's great, and it's great to play, and I do like playing them. But if you can have them a little bit more sparkly, then why not? You know, with
Yeah,
a
I
few
mean,
more
look,
lights.
it's no different to a lot of these car manufacturers that bring out a car and everyone mods the crap out of them after. You know, there's a limit that a manufacturer has to do because of profitability and all that type of stuff. But, you know, I think the hobby is great. It is such the market of the mods is just unbelievable. The amount of people making mods, and everyone sharing 3D files and, you know, doing it together and stuff. You know, it's great if you're into it. But, you know, I think 80% of my machines aren't modded, and I don't really need to mod them. You know, there's no urge for me to, but I can see why it's an obsession.
Oh, yeah.
My friend Shane's got a Godzilla that's heavily modded, heaps of minifigures and the power lines and the King Ghidorah figure, and it just looks $1,000,000. Like it, you know, it's great, but he's probably spent $1,000 more to get that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to know, I think, with those that you want to keep it for me.
Yeah,
And
100%.
unless money is no object, and you're just happy to have these extra mods for a year, and you don't mind that they're going to depreciate, because
Yeah.
you might get a bit more money if you on the second-hand market if your game is modded, but you can't expect people, just because you've put £2,000 worth of mods in there, for other people to value your Godzilla at £2,000 more than everybody else's Godzilla that might be for sale. So I think there's that. That being said, which sort of segues on quite nicely to my news, which, well, I've got two bits of news actually. What do you want to do? So I've ordered a Jaws. What do you want to do? Lord of the Rings or Jaws? I've ordered a Jaws premium. What do you want to do? What do you want to deal with first?
Let's talk about Jaws.
Okay, so
leave the best to last.
Yeah, absolutely. So spoiler, I've ordered a Jaws premium, and I actually can't wait. The game has really grown on me. I always want something in a game to lure me back in, and it has the irony of being lured back in by a fishing game inherently. But there's a simplicity to it. I think so much was concentrated on the fact that the shark didn't eat the ball. I don't think there was enough focus on that sharks thing coming out of the playfield. I love it. I look forward to it. I cannot get enough of that. It actually builds. It does something. My heart rate starts to go a bit fast. It gets me excited. It's a moment. It's a moment in the pinball machine.
Look, it pulls everyone in. Like my family play it. They've never seen Jaws. Where we have our competitions on Thursdays, everyone's drawn to that game. You know, it is really, you know, it's a game about sharks and fishing. And I think who doesn't like fishing and sharks? I think the funny thing is, did you watch
probably sharks themselves actually are not keen on those things. Yeah.
There was the video they did about the making, and the actual ball-eating shark was originally planned. They actually showed the tech and the module and everything, and they decided to go against it. I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest.
I don't care. Again, yeah. I just don't care. I'm so lucky. As I said to you last time we did a podcast, mate. If you don't want a game, don't buy it. There's enough choice out there, and I'm really happy with my choice. I had a load of games really to pick from. I'm so close to going back and getting Elton John. But I've sort of come to the conclusion. I am waiting. I'm going to wait for the next JJP, and that's a must for me. That's a must. I think they are just so incredible. I think I was lucky enough to have enjoyed Elton John. I was lucky enough to have had it here. There was a lot of them that came over to the UK.
Can I ask you a question about Elton John?
What about the man or the pinball machine?
About the machine.
Yeah.
So I find with musical pins, like if you want to play it for half an hour, that the music eventually, like you either got to be in the mood for it or it just becomes too repetitive. Do you find that?
No, I found when I really liked Aerosmith, and I found myself actually, listening to pretty much the same 5-6 songs all the time. I really liked the songs. I think that's important. As somebody said a long time ago, the thing with music pins, you've got to like the music and the pinball machine. Yeah, it was. No, I didn't mind it at all. And it almost, particularly with, there's a number of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting is a great song to play pinball to. I wouldn't want to play pinball to Bohemian Rhapsody, for instance. There's certain, I wouldn't want to play pinball to a slow love song or a ballad, right? But Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, there's a rhythm to that, and it makes you want to. It makes you want to play pinball fast. It's like when you're driving. Like if you're driving, get the motor running, head out on the highway, and it makes you want to drive fast. Not that I do. I never break the speed limit, but there's certain songs which probably revealing a little bit too much here, possibly make you want to drive a little bit faster than you should. Right now, I think it's the same with pinball. There's certain songs which lend themselves to pinball, and then when you're going to factor in Pinball Wizard, which is the iconic. But the Who should be getting more love. I know they're my favourite band. The Who should be getting more love. They are the band that made a bloody pinball song. Everyone else has these favourite bands. They can give a shit about pinball. All right, the Who, right, and I'll tell you now, Pete Townsend loved it. All right, so I'm not. To be fair, Slash we know loves pinball, and I'm not suggesting there aren't anyone else. But if any song deserves to be the pinball theme tune of all pinball, it's Pinball Wizard, and it's on there. And it feels good when you're playing it. So no, I don't have. And also Elton John. The thing is with Elton John's got such a big back catalogue of music, and there are so many songs on there that actually there's a lot of people that played it. So, I didn't realise it's an Elton John song. I recognise this song from that advert. This song is the theme tune for that TV series I watch. Didn't really know it was Elton John. So so no, I didn't have any of that. And you are overawed. Have you played one yet?
No, not yet. We're hoping to play one soon. I think next month, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean it's basically it's like audio and a visual feast. The lights and everything that's going on. It's a crazy old game. So because I was really close. But I thought, well, if they're going to do that with that, what they're going to do with the next one is going to be exceptional. I think Steve Ritchie would have had a bit more time at the company as well. And I am genuinely excited to what JJP do next. So I decided to go with the Jaws because
it pulls you in. Everyone I've spoken to, they both came at the same time, and everyone finds that they were as good as Elton John is. They were pulled into Jaws more, personally. So
I think
I can understand why.
Yeah, look, Jaws has got I love Jaws. I just think the shots are all where they're supposed to be. But you are dealing with two pinball machines there which shoot really well. You're lucky if that's your choice between Jaws and Elton John. You're really, really, really lucky because I would suggest they are both of them almost without fault. It's just down to personal taste. That Elton John machine is a culmination of years and years of an expert pinball designer honing what he wanted to do, who finally got to make the game he wanted, irrespective of a bill of materials. That's what you've got there, and there's just someone that understands the geometry of a pinball machine. So it was perfect for JJP at the time. They needed that to see him working alongside Mounier for the next title, and he will be working alongside him. Is going to be really exciting because I felt Mounier took too much on himself. There were too much focus just of himself on the project. I feel like he needed some guidance. He needed some help. I think he's going to get it here. And I think the other thing is you've got Keith Elwin, who I just think it went so under the radar, Jaws, and it was just so good. I'm not with all this binary stuff. You've got to choose one after the other. I'm not like that in life anywhere. I reject it. I can't stand it. Even if food or music or pinball machines or anything else, I will choose one. I don't want to bloody choose one. I'll choose two. I'll choose as many as I want to choose. Thank you very much.
Have them all.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously it comes to a point where you can't afford that. But in terms of preference, just because you can only have one doesn't mean you've got to hate on the other one. If you are choosing between a Jaws and an Elton John, you're a very, very, very lucky person. And I think Elwin, too many people assumed that this was possibly going to be Elwin's worst game when it came out because I think they were shocked by the lack of the ball-eating shark or whatever. But actually, there is an intuitive way of the way that it incorporates the screen, the Quint challenge. Simple stuff, and it's on the screen. It makes certain what shark are you going to go and hunt? Well, I'll go and hunt this shark. Okay, I love that stuff. Well, you're going to need so many spins of the spinner. You're going to need so many hits of that. I love that stuff.
And
It's
then
simple.
lure him.
I know it's not groundbreaking, and then all of a sudden you get that the sharks thing comes up. Oh, that's going to distract me a little bit from there. And then you've got the iconic music, and even if there's not just a mechanism, there's a man that knows how to create a moment. Have you got a Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Okay, the missile shot.
Yeah.
It's simple. There's no big mechanism there. The post comes up, it holds the ball, and there's like a countdown. There's like some beeps,
Yep.
isn't there? There's some beeps, and you've got to hit that missile shot. There's something about that, and it's not. There's nothing. It's not geometry. It's just knowing how to create a moment in pinball to create some tension.
Yeah.
And he does it, and he's a master at it. And
I think,
I love that. I love that shot. It's one of the shots that I actually missed. That missile shot. It means something. I think it was quite big points, like 10 million points or something. It was quite important. And this sharks thing coming up again. It creates drama within the game that you're playing. And I really, really, really like it. And as I say, I feel that all the shots on Jaws are exactly where they're supposed to be. If I was going to start placing things on a playfield to align with how I hit the ball off the flipper, it's just really good. He just understands pinball design. I just think...
And Godzilla's the same. I mean, obviously, same guy. The shots are all in the right spot. You know, I actually feel that there's more people that either love and hate Godzilla than there is that love and hate Jaws. Everyone I've spoken to loves Jaws, but there is a lot of the community I know, you either love Godzilla or they hate Godzilla. There's nothing in between, right?
Really?
And I think this goes back to, like you said, and now we're going a little bit deeper into what we're doing here, but you know, with the world under glass and the escapism and, you know, reeling you in, no pun intended, that small community of pinball people that are haters, that it doesn't matter what Stern do, they're just going to hate. It does. I mean, they did it with John Wick and the guns, and I'm sure it's the same people that did it with the ball on Jaws, the same people that wanted Godzilla to eat the ball. And it just is there to stir up any form of drama, and they can all do it better, and they can all, you know, steer that shit better. But, you know, when the dust settles, right, I wonder how many of those people actually own one of those games in the future, you know, because they've jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
I think there's just so much drama from a small minority that, like you said, take you away from the fact that it was never going to be his worst game. But there was just so much negativity around, you know, Jaws not eating the ball, that's all everyone cared about until you actually play it, and every shot is like butter. Like it is so satisfying. Like it is extremely satisfying. Especially the far right with Quinn Shack. The one right down the middle that it goes up and back onto your left flipper. They are just extremely satisfying. And you can play it and play it and play it. And that's what makes, you know, a great game. Can the game have more in it? Sure. Can the game have less in it? Sure. But at the end of the day, there's a limit. You know, you've got to limit it at some point.
But you can also have if that's what you want, if that's not enough for you, then fine, go and get yourself a packed game. Go and get yourself a Lebowski. Go and get yourself a JJP. Go and get something that is packed full of stuff, or mod it and put more stuff in
mod
it.
Correct. Yeah. Although the shark that eats the ball kind of looks like that, hasn't got the bottom jaw. Kind of looks a bit weird, but anyway.
I saw a little bit of it, and I did think that's not for me. And I got to say, I'm not, in terms of modding, I don't think I particularly want anything that ultimately changes the mechanics of the game.
No.
I would like it to add to it, add some aesthetics to it. If it can interact with a light show or maybe move a bit, fine. But if you're going to start taking it under the playfield, it's not meant to go there. I do wonder what's going to happen if you start getting some sort of problems with the software and things like that. So for me, I wouldn't bother. But I mean, obviously there's some people making some. I'm not up on it actually. I will start to look more when I know the Jaws is on its way, I will start to look more at some of the mods that are available for it. But the same thing that I've done, I've really taken my time to make that decision. I've played a lot of games, as you know. I had the spooky games here. I had John Wick here. I had a barbecue challenge here. I took a really, really long time, and because I think you need to at the moment, because money is so precious. What you don't want to do is buy a game and then want to get rid of it. So I'd take a long time, and I would hope that Jaws stands the test of time. What are you laughing at?
Oh, no, I was laughing at the fact that I just wish, like, every game I've ever bought, if it was a new release, we don't have the luxury of obviously playing it, right? So you got to.
Sure.
We have limited numbers coming to Australia, so we've got to go. I want one. Put your order in and just hope for the best, And I had trust, in Elwyn, we trust that it was going to be great without being able to play it. But the luxury of having to take your time and making the right decision is fantastic if you can have it. Because I think there is so much option now that is just for you to have 4 machines. In saying that, it was one of the comments on that video was something I always have noticed recently, that I feel since Venom, and I've played Jaws Pro, I played Venom Pro, I haven't played a Wick Pro, but I'm seeing a real common thing here where everyone's preferring the premium on those games. The Pro feels empty, or it feels unsatisfying, or they just want more. I got a friend that's got a Pro Jaws and wishes he bought a premium, so he's trying to flip it and buy it. And I think, you liked John Wick, but at the same time you didn't, right? Because it was a hard game.
It was too hard and too fast for me. Is the truth of the matter, and then it didn't have a moment in it. You talk about the Jaws Pro. To be fair, it's still got the sharks fin coming up. It's still going to offer you. You've got the chum bucket, and the shots are still there. So I think the chum. Yeah, absolutely.
The chum bucket.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. You're still going to get most of the same experience with a Jaws Pro. I didn't feel that Wick was offering me anything. There was no moment in it. There was just a bunch of tough shots and very, very fast flow. And I just thought ultimately it wasn't for me. I would have been. You talk about having a chance to try games. I'd have been devastated if I'd have bought that.
Do you think it's code related though? Because I felt like that with Bond, and I sold my Bond, and then a year later I bought my Bond back.
No, because you've got those sequence of metal ramps with wire forms on the right hand side, which are hittable with Bond. You've got a left orbit, which is hittable with Bond. You've got the bank of targets just in front of the dildo, which are hittable in Bond. You've got a load of stuff on this, which is just not hittable. It's so different from Bond. If you didn't know the dimensions of pinball machines, and you were speaking to someone that didn't know, you could probably fool them into saying that Bond had more real estate and had a different size playfield to work with. It feels
more open.
It feels like there's more on it. There's more shots on it. Just more shots on it. There's just so much more to do. And again, you still get the Aston Martin in Bond, and I mean the mechanism of it in there. I'm sorry to say, and I think people will find it. Good players will quite like it, but it only stands a test of time. It's the test of time, and it's this thing that goes back to Pinside. So pinball can be quite partisan. So people can have their favourite manufacturers and their favourite designers. So you have this thing with a Pinside Top 100, where if a game comes out,
it's already up there.
It's up there.
Because
it's either A, was someone's favourite pinball manufacturer, or B, by their favourite designer.
Yeah.
Now, you've got to take that with a pinch of salt. The real test is if someone were to turn around and say, I love John Wick, this game is absolutely amazing, I'm going to buy John Wick, and then you were to see them in a year's time or 2 years' time, and they still have John Wick in their collection, they've modded it out, and they're saying this game is going nowhere. Because I think there's a ton of people who say they like games and never actually go and buy them. Or you might get them and then you might have regret that you've got it, which we've all done. We've all got a game and then regretted getting it. I suspect John Wick will be a good tournament game. I suspect it will not sell many units, and it will not last long in people's collections, apart from people who are wealthy enough to have 20, 30 games, and then it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, I'm talking from what we're dealing with here in WA, but from my understanding, we're sold out here. I couldn't get an LE, or I just got a premium John Wick. I bought that flying blind because it's one of my favorite movie franchises. But, in saying that, looking at Pinside's top 100 at the moment, Jaws is, what was it? I just looked at it. Jaws
11?
is 9.
9.
No,
It's moved up. Moved up.
Yeah,
No?
but like when Jaws came out, it was like 3rd, and I don't think we had even played the game yet. So already it was up there.
Yeah.
Godzilla's still number 1.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park's number 2. Deadpool's number 5. Iron Maiden is number 6. Which, to be honest, that Iron Maiden is like this silent assassin, because it is a fantastic game that nobody ever talks about.
Yeah, I'm not getting a nobody ever talks about it. Quite frankly, I mean, even the other day, someone came over and they were saying it was their favourite game. And funny enough, it was Brad came over and said it was his favourite game, and he was the only person I would say that truly enjoyed John Wick. But he is one of the best players in the UK.
Well, that's what I'm hearing, because talking to a few guys in the in the USA and stuff that I've become chummy with, they all love John Wick Premium. And they've all bought one as well. So I think you're right. I think it is it's a bit like Stranger Things, right? It's hard, it's fast.
It's hard. To be fair, it's harder than Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Without the moment as well.
Yeah, right.
Listen, you don't get a projector, but you still get a. I'm talking about in the pro version. You don't get a projector. You still get a demi vagina, though, in the pro version, which is and so I think you're getting more for the pro. I would argue, actually, from a standing start, in terms of no projector, just when you are walking past the machine, the pro is the best looking machine because it doesn't have the white ramps because the projector and stuff like that.
Of course, yeah.
So it's the best looking machine. No. I think there's lots of pros who have something in it, be it the Aston Martin, or be it the the shark's fin, or the Demigorgon, Demidog, or whatever it is. It's offering nothing. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if you say there's loads of them been ordered over in Oz a year after they've arrived. I would imagine there'll be a few on there. I think if you've got 4 or 5 machines, I don't think it's going to survive the cut. I think you'll be thinking, right, I want to get a new game. Which one am I going to lose? Actually, I'll lose John Wick.
I think we have in Australia, we have a lot of collectors, not people that can only have 4 or 5 games, and I think that's probably the difference.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people that can only have 4 or 5 games, and you're right. If they had to only choose, they'd buy it to play it, experience it, practice for tournaments, and then sell it.
Yeah.
Right. I think you're right.
But a top tournament game, and I don't, as I say, I do not wish to hate on this as well. I get accused of it a lot. I've already said that I think, Godzilla's one of the best pinball machines ever made. I've heaped a ton of praise on Jaws. But I'm not gonna. I don't understand why people are massively negative about pinball anyway. I just don't. But that doesn't mean I've got to sit here and say everything is a 10 out of 10. Everything's brilliant. I think it's not for me. That's not an issue. I've gone and got something else, which actually turns out to be a completely different Stern game. But they can't produce everything. But I mean, I'm seeing it compared to Venom. Venom had a lot wider shots than John Wick has. A lot wider shots on it. It was easy. Venom is much easier to play than John Wick.
Well, I mean, look at I never thought I would have had a Venom in the collection, and a year later buy one because I sat down and spent more time with a premium because I felt the pro was not for me. It was just empty, and a year later, there's one, and I don't think I'd ever get rid of it, to be honest.
Really enjoying it.
Yep, it gets better and better. The shots are hard to make. It's very kind of Steve Ritchie-ish, where the shots are just fan layout. But it's a challenging game, and it's different. It's just different. I think between Godzilla, Guardians of the Galaxy, Elvira, Jurassic Park, Bond, Jaws, I think Stern has just knocked it out of the park. Deadpool, like,
Well, out of everything you've mentioned there, well, okay, let's just go through them. So to start again,
so we got, obviously you got Godzilla, which we've
just
spoken about,
amazing,
amazing. Jurassic Park, awesome.
incredible game.
Bond for me is one of the best Stern games ever made.
Not spent enough time with it, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, you got to get one. Deadpool, Gomez is just a
Yeah,
genius
that
on
doesn't
that.
really get any better. Yeah.
Venom for me is fantastic.
Yeah, and so you're saying Venom is up there with Jurassic Park and Godzilla and Deadpool,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, Venom gets better and better the more you play it. I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments for it, but honestly, I really enjoy it. The more and again, the moments it creates and the character XP build up, and
no one could tell you what you enjoy.
No.
I remember getting a comment on the top 50, which was my top 50, and Attack from Mars was second. And they said Attack from Mars isn't second. It is. It is. It's like it's like you can't tell me that I prefer sausages over pizza. I prefer what I prefer. So if you're enjoying that, then that's good. So that's part of the Insider Connected. Yeah, you're using that to level up your stuff.
Yeah. So it draws you into, like, you want to play, because I want to take my player to level 57 now. I want to hit level 99. I want to hit level 100, so then I can play as Venom Hulk or Venom Wolverine, right? Like, it's, I think there was a bit of superhero fatigue. I get it, but it is a really good game. But even, let's take that one out for now. Between Elvira, House of Horrors,
quality game.
Deadpool, Star Wars has, again, a bit like Venom, a lot of hate and a lot of lovers. But I think Stern, in the last 5 years, have knocked it out of the park. So I really, like you said, you can't be everything. Nothing's perfect, but
no. I don't think they have. I think they've had some outstanding releases, and I think they've made some poor games and some poor.
I will say something.
And some poor decisions along the way as well.
That's true, but I will say something very controversial. Is if Gomez, and if they were to ever lose Gomez or Keith, which I don't think they ever would, because I'm sure they have shares in the business, they're in trouble.
Yeah, look, I can't speak any more highly of George Gomez. We'll get on to Lord of the Rings in just a second. He is my favourite pinball designer. I am frustrated that he does as much as he does behind the scenes. It's
you want another Gomez?
It's a bit like hiring Lewis Hamilton, then asking him to drive your golf buggy.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I would love to see a game a year from George Gomez, because, and that is no criticism of him, and I've even started to use Insider Connected more. I was using it with John Wick, and I thought, oh, okay, this has got some merit here. I can't log them in here because it needs a password. I don't have a password down here.
So I was going to touch on that, but I wasn't sure where you guys are at in the UK with the contracts that John Wick. So you know how you said about the moments?
Yes.
I'm hoping that I'm at dinner with my family and my Stern Insider Connect app goes off and there's a John Wick contract and I've got to get up, rush to John Wick and hit that contract because you've been called to do so. And I think that's what is maybe going to create those moments.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that would be good. But you could do that on any game. And I am looking forward to whatever might be going on with Jaws and Insider Connected. I was sort of quite anti-Insider Connected, but it's grown on me. But despite that, I'd still rather someone else was programming the QR codes and making Insider Connected, and George Gomez was free to make another game because he is. A Monster Bash came up for sale on the forum yesterday. I was so tempted again. I got Batman 66, one of the best games ever made for me. Just as a complete package. Deadpool, I don't stop playing it. I've had Deadpool since 2018. I don't stop playing it. I don't stop. I cannot get bored. And Lord of the Rings is back now. And we're just touching on a few there. He's an incredible incredible pinball designer. Before I talk about Lord of the Rings, just want to make the point to please make sure that if you want to go and play in the Classics tournament at Pinfest UK this year, I know Enzo wants to talk about something you've got going over in Oz as well in a second, then please get yourself registered. Get yourself registered early. Get yourself registered now. You've got to go on to the Pinball Info Forum. A link is in the description below. That's for the Classics tournament. Get yourself registered for that. For the main tournament, which I understand is going to be run by David and Claire this year. And Wayne, we wish you well, my friend. Then you can basically go and do that on the day and when you are there. But you want to try and book early, please, for the Classics tournament, which is being run by Sean. Pinfest this year, of course, really, really looking forward to it. Loads and loads of stuff going on there. And massive shout out to Big Phil for organising it and giving us all in the UK something that we can hang our hat on every summer and look forward to. So can't wait for that at all. You got something going on in Oz, haven't you? Some big news.
Well, we started, so obviously being in Perth, if you've watched the channel, you've heard this story before. We are pretty isolated. We're one of the isolated cities in the world, one of the most isolated cities in the world. We don't have a lot of pinball stuff happening. We've got one pinball festival that happens a year over 3 days. We have a couple smaller pinball kind of leagues that happen on a Thursday night and a Saturday day, but that's about it. And obviously there is a bit of a demand for guys to grow their points and play more tournaments, but also for the community to catch up more often. So myself and 3 other guys, we've gotten together and created what we've called Pinball Collective, which is here.
Very nice. What are the guys' names?
So we got Shane, we got Brett, and we've got Tammy. And I couldn't have done it without a better crew because we're all very different. We all bring different things, and it's all we're doing is creating a space where we can grow the community for the kids, more women playing, and obviously just a general league over 3 days. And we're going to do Friday, Saturday, Sundays every 12 to 15 weeks. We're going to run like a mini pin fest, let's say.
You also 3 days.
It's going to be 3 days. So we're on Facebook, Pinball Collective. It is being held in Perth, Australia. The idea is, though, that we may be able to do events over east in Sydney, Melbourne. We may be able to do one in the UK. You know, at the end of the day, the way we've set this up is just to grow the hobby. We're running for non-for-profit. Like, it's purely to reinvest, to give people more opportunity to play games that they've never played before, to catch up with other like-minded people, and just get kids involved, get more women involved, more non-binary people, if that's what they want to do. Like anyone and everyone. I think there's a bit of a stereotype that pinball's played by just old men or over 40.
It sort of is, but no, you're right. You need to encourage more people.
We want some young blood, and the guys that run the current stuff in WA, they do a great job, right? And it's they've been doing it for a long time, and we don't want to take anything away from them. And we're working very closely with them on their dates to make sure there's nothing clashing, and we make sure that we're not overlapping, and we're all working together. Because in my opinion, the more pinball, the better. And the more opportunity we get because how isolated we are, the better. Yeah. So our first event is on the end of August, basically across Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Lots of mini tournaments. We're doing some master classes on pinball with a couple pros. My friend Ash just scored 5 billion points on James Bond.
Sorry, you say you're doing master classes with some pros?
Yeah, with some pros. Yeah.
Well, I might make it over, Enzo, to be fairly honest with you.
The cheap pros too.
Yeah, good, excellent. The best ones.
Yeah, the best ones. And look, it is just to grow and have fun and, just a bit of escapism. So we're really looking forward to it. So Pinball Collective is on Facebook, is on Instagram. It is a WA event in Australia, but it doesn't mean you can't follow what we're doing. I'm hoping that what we do...
A WA event, meaning, sorry?
Western Australia, sorry.
Okay, right, cool. No worries.
Our state is called Western Australia.
Yeah.
We're hoping that what we do just creates a domino effect of more of these type of things popping up. It's a lot of work, mind you. It's a lot of effort. It's hard to move 30 machines. We're hoping to get 30 machines at our first event. and there's a lot of logistics and all that type of stuff. But that's what we're doing at the moment. So instead of waiting once a year for a pinball festival, we want to do it more often. That's all.
All power to you. All power to
Yeah.
you. There you go, Pinball Collective. Yeah, well, listen, anything we need to do on here, then we will absolutely do so. And well, you've got access. I was going to say you've got access to the channel, and so stick the link under this video once it goes on there, and then people can find all the details on here. Right, I think quite probably the most exciting part of the show now is something I got sent over.
I thought you were going to talk about your
custom
ring.
fee paid as well. Custom fee paid. Wonderful. Oh, blimey. It's an expensive customs charge, to be fair. £59.89, the custom charge. But I haven't just paid for a box to be sent over. So, anyway.
Looks pretty light.
Well, it should be. It should be magic. Never mind light. It should be magic. So, I have Lord of the Rings back. Not my old one. That's gone. But after... Anybody who's been watching this channel for any length of time will know it's always been the ambition to get Lord of the Rings back. It's back, and I am thrilled. I am thrilled. I am playing it every single day. My son is playing it. As soon as my son learns the rules, he loves the game, and he is so into Lord of the Rings. He really, really is. And if anybody that knows the game, I had a bit of a milestone moment a week or two ago on Fellowship Multi-Ball. I managed to get all the Fellowship across the bridge, which you got to hit the Balrog, then a shot, the Balrog, then a shot. This is multi-ball. And it's quite, Lord of the Rings can be quite unkind. It's not giving you the balls back on multi-ball. It's, the ball saves are not its best feature. So that was a really big thing for me. First time I've ever done it. I don't know if I'll ever reach Valinor at any point, but I love the game. I love the theme, and I've actually ordered some embellishments for it. I'm thinking of building my own topper. Well, more than thinking of building my own topper, I am going to build my own topper for it because I'm dissatisfied with anything that's on the market. I am. It's going to be getting an overhaul. I would hope one day to get the playfield completely redesigned, not in terms of the inserts and the shots, but I'd love to get it's sort of hand drawn or something. In the meantime, it's getting a little overhaul inside. There's not that many mods available anymore, which is a real shame. But I have actually got some. I'm in the process of taking the models out, which are inside, and replacing them with really, really good models. It was like this. Like for instance, I've got Juggernaut for Deadpool. So it's this sort of quality of thing, basically. Anyway, but that's not. So I've ordered some. Funnily enough, from your neck of the woods, sort of from New Zealand. I've ordered some lovely bits from New Zealand.
Nice.
But I'm going to take this knife and not stab myself in the face, hopefully. And I'm going to show you what I got in this box, which I ordered from the States. I ordered this from Pinside. You can see I paid for it. It's not. I can't even remember. What's it? Oh, who did I get it from? Willie Pinball Mods. Willie Pinball Mods on Pinside. And it's. I'll tell you now. There you go. I've opened the box here.
Are they the biodegradable ones? No.
No. That's the worst Whatsit I've ever tasted. Okay. I think that's it. Here is the packaging here.
What game's it for?
Sorry?
What game's it for?
It's for Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Oh, it's for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. It's I've started. I couldn't be happier with the game. It is just a wonderful, wonderful game. Let's open this up. Oh man.
Nice.
It's a Palantir mod. It is gorgeous.
Much bigger than the one that's in there.
It really is. I'm in it. How did you manage to do that? And that is really clever. Not only did he manage to
Yeah.
put me inside it, but he managed to do. He know the T-shirt I was going to be wearing today. I'm sure
Not
there's
bad.
instructions and all manner of stuff in it, but I cannot wait to get this. I'm just feeling a load of this stuff in there at the moment. Yes, I'm sure there's instructions on where to plug that in. Well, I guess it just plugs into where the old one goes.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
there's no
you think so.
instructions. There's probably no instructions needed, actually. Maybe I probably meant to download a PDF or something. See Dolly in it. There you go. Dolly's in it.
There you go, Dolly.
Superb. Honestly, that is gorgeous. So I think you're going to get like the Eye of Sauron in there, which is the point. So it must have a little projector. It must have a little projector in it.
But is that something he makes? He makes something. He makes it on the regular, or is it just like one-offs? Yeah, nice.
You can see that. I think you can't see. You can't see it. The Eye of Sauron in there.
Yeah, you can just make it out.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I'm very excited about that. I am very excited about that. Never mind England playing in the Euros. I'm going to be.
Is it coming home? That's the question.
Well, this has come home. Lord of the Rings has come home. That's for sure. That's it. I mean, my precious, has returned. You got Lord of the Rings, haven't you?
I'm doing a deal on one. I don't know if it's going to go ahead or not. It's had a few issues. Obviously, look, it was an old game. It's been sitting dormant for a couple of years. It has a brand new playfield in it though, but it needs some work. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. But
yeah,
I'm nearly there. Nearly there.
Good. Well, join the club, as it were. I had it under quite good authority that they weren't going to vault this game, Stern. So so I thought take the plunge. It's a beautiful example, by the way. It's beautiful. It's immaculate. Well, I've sent you some video footage.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's lovely. So there you go. Lord of the Rings is back. We quite like Godzilla's 70th anniversary edition. And other assorted stuff. So listen, mate, thank you for joining me for the past hour.
Pleasure.
We'll be back soon. Lots of stuff to come, as always. And I'll be. There should be. We're looking at a relatively big, as I understand it, relatively big pinball announcement. Not for this channel. I mean, a sort of machine announcement release, relatively imminently, or at least some leaked stuff coming soon. So that'll be really interesting as well. Until next time, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch up with you soon.